Welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading, guys. Today is October the 17th, 2021. Today I'm going to be looking at the S&P 500 and where we left off on Friday. We had a great bullish week on the markets overall. I'm also going to be taking a look at 6 stocks that are ready for takeoff this week. Names like Netflix, which is reporting earnings on Tuesday. Tesla reports earnings on Wednesday. Snap on Thursday. And Moderna had a great bullish week before breaking down on some FUD. We're going to talk about that, along with Nvidia that had a nice bounce, and Mara up 23% on my last target take profits of last week's video. That being said, guys, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. Also, if you are interested in trading with us at Wealthy Mentor Trading, hit the link in the description. That shall take you out to the checkout page, and it will give you everything that it entails. Great trading group, wonderful asset to have if you are a trader, and you get play-by-play action every single day by myself and market analysis. That being said, we do have the S&P 500 chart open here, and you guys can see here, we did bounce off support of 43.30, and that was on Tuesday. Since then, we bounced there, buyers stepped in, and we had a great bullish week on Wednesday, a nice gap up all the way to 44.30, and we're off to the races, right? We have overhead resistance at 44.80, which coincides with the resistance down here back on September the 14th. So this is a big area for me. So the first hurdle that you got to look at going into tomorrow is that 44.80 mark. Above that, I do have take profit targets at 4,500, which is a big psychological round number. So that would be my first area to take profits at. And my next take profit here is that 45.20 area where we did wick up here and got rejected. So these two areas are significant. They are an area of resistance, right? So if you want to judge to see if the market's healthy, we need to break that 44.80 mark first. Overall, I am bullish, but everything doesn't always go as planned. So targets to the downside, what I'm looking at is this 44.60 mark right here. We had a hard time breaking it back on September the 23rd. So previous resistance now turns to support. So if we drop down, look for 44.60 to hold. If we cannot hold 44.60, I would look to 44.50 as my first take profit on a drop down. And we also have a gap fill here that we left off on Thursday at that 44.30 area, right? So a couple of scenarios can pan out here. We pop up to 44.80 on Monday, get rejected, get pushed back down, and fill this gap here at 44.30 before we move back up, right? The next scenario would be showing strength immediately above that 44.80 mark and breaking it and going straight to 4,500 before we see some sort of resistance and a rejection. Overall, as I mentioned, I am really bullish on the markets. And we do have earnings on a bunch of big names. As I mentioned, Netflix, Tesla, Snap, all big names. And they do have a large portion of the market controlled. So there's going to be a lot of whipsaw action, back and forth action. And on a strong earnings, I could definitely see the market pushing up about 4,500. Now, if we have weak earnings, we could definitely see the market go sideways and stay beneath that 44.80 mark. So that is my analysis on the S&P 500. And with that being said, my first stock, I should say, that I wanted to take a look at is Netflix. Now, Netflix was on my radar last week, and it didn't do much, right? We consolidated into this zone right here. We are on the 4-hour chart. And as you guys can see, we have been into the zone from 640 all the way to that 625 area. And not much changed last week, right? I was looking for a break above 640 for a take profit of 650. Or if you are a safer trader, look for that 650 area to break, right? We do have all-time highs here at 647. I like to look at the big round numbers, the psychological number of 650. So overall, if you are a safer trader, look for a break above 650 for potential take profits of 660 and another take profit area at 670. Overall, on an earnings beat, you definitely want to see that break of 650 hit, right? And then we're off to the races. It's a blue sky breakout from there. To the downside, if we have 625 holds, that is still bullish for me. But if it does break, look for 620, right, as your first take profit area, 615, where we do have previous resistance now turned support, right? So these two areas for me, 620, 615, and even 610, we can downshoot to those if we do have weak earnings on Netflix. Overall, as I mentioned before, Netflix is bullish, and it is in a posture right now on a bull flag right here on a 4-hour time frame. So this is a large time frame. Here's the flagpole right here, and here's the flag itself, right? We're looking for a positive catalyst, and earnings is a perfect scenario here to push us past that 647 mark and lead us to all-time highs on a breakout. So keep your eyes on Netflix going in, and they are reporting Tuesday. Another name that I want to check out is Tesla. TSLA is the ticker. And here we are on the 4-hour chart. And for me, I am looking at a break above 650. Sorry, 850. Right? We did have a nice move past that $800 mark, finally breaking through. Much like Netflix, we were in a bull flag formation right here. Here's the flagpole, and here's the flag itself. And we finally broke above that $800 mark. And we pushed past 816 and 830. Those were my two targets last week. This week, as I said, 850 is an area for me that I'm going to be looking at for my entries. 860, 870, and 880 are key points for me to take profit at. We also received an analyst upgrade on Tesla, so that is pretty bullish. 950 was the target. We do have all-time highs at 900, so on a bullish, strong earnings, definitely look for 850 to break and potentially test those three areas, 860, 870, and 880. Now on a down week, and let's just say we don't do well on earnings, you know what? 800 is that area for me that I'm going to be looking at. We had a hard time breaking it here, right? It was resistance, now turns support. So we could potentially push down lower here to test 800 before moving higher, right? If we do break 800, my targets to the downside are 790, 780, and that 765 area where we did consolidate in a zone for quite a while before moving up. I am bullish on Tesla, guys. And Tesla, if you look at the weekly chart right here that I'm going to switch up on, we have been moving higher, right? Here is the weekly chart. Let me just zoom in here for you guys to give you guys a better look. And as you guys can see here on the weekly chart, ever since, let's just see here, ever since May, we've been moving higher. Now, it's not the prettiest chart. However, as you guys can see here, it's all bull action right here, right? So a break above that 850 area, you guys can see here, we do have 900 as your all-time high. So we're not too far ahead. Earnings can definitely push us all the way up there. So keep Tesla in mind as you look into the trades for next week. I will be posting my trades, as you guys know, at Wealthy Mentor Trading. I give our students the heads up on entries and exits and prepare them throughout the day. So if you are interested in that, you know where to hit me up, okay? Another name reporting earnings, that is Snap, and they are reporting on Thursday. Here is Snap on the 4-hour time frame, and I wanted to bring this to your attention, guys, because we have been consolidating ever since, not September, I would say July. We've been consolidating into this bull flag on the 4-hour time frame since July, and we did spike up to all-time highs at 83.50, but we have been pushed right back down to the zone underneath $80. So as I said, we are reporting on earnings on Thursday. I am looking for a break above this $83 area, 83.50 to be exact, for a push higher up to 86 and $90 as my two take profit areas. A catalyst like earnings, on a strong earnings, this is the perfect scenario for us to break past this and confirm this bull flag that we're in on a 4-hour time frame. Now, to the downside, if we have terrible earnings, what am I looking at? $70 is the line in the sand for me. As you guys can see here, we haven't been able to break it to the downside, just trending sideways. So if we do break $70 with convincing volume, which you will see on an earnings bomb, down here is my first take profit area at 65 and $60 where we did push up here back on July the 16th and created this bull flag all the way up to that $80 mark. So break of 70, take profit 65 for puts and $60 for take profit number 2 for puts. Okay, bullish on Snap. Like to see that volume push us past that $83 mark, and a strong earnings can definitely make this ride a lot higher than $90. Okay. Another name that did pretty well last week, and I was telling you guys that I did want to see that $300 area hold, and that was Moderna. And here we are on Moderna on the 4-hour time frame. Let me just zoom in here to get rid of all this clutter. And as you guys can see here, I was looking at that $300 area, and we did push around that 300 to 295 area, consolidated for quite a bit. As you guys can see, these long wicks right here represents buyers stepping in and guarding that $300 area, right? So psychologically, what you want to see is not just look at a chart and see a bunch of candles. What you want to see is what the thinking is behind this, right? If 300 is being stopped and the stock doesn't want to go underneath that, that just tells you that the buyers are strong and they're guarding that area. And it's not just retail, it's big names, big money, big whales are having a lot of money into the stock, and they pretty much rode this all throughout the pandemic, right? And they don't want to see it below 300. Now, a lot of people thought this may be a dead cat bounce, and this could still be. However, going into tomorrow, going into next week, I am looking at this magical number here at 343 for my entry point. We got rejected here, and that was on Friday. We had some more FUD surrounding this Moderna name and its approval for drugs. And, you're going to have a lot of whipsaw action until this thing is 100%. And people are going to react towards that. So me as a trader, 343 is my entry zone for 355 and 362. Overall, I am bullish if we do get above that, because on the 1 hour time frame, as you guys can see here, right, we do have a gap fill. And this gap fill starts from that 355 all the way to 375. So if we do push above 343, right, chances are we go for that gap fill and go push all the way to that 375 area. So I am bullish on Moderna, but first things first, I want to see 343 break. Now, to the downside, we did hold 320 as support. That was good. We did bounce back off there. Not much of a big bounce. It was Friday and the volume wasn't the greatest. So I'm going to give it some credit here and say if it holds 320, I am bullish. Now, if we break 320, we don't have much support, right? 310 is your first area of take profit, and 306, right? And honestly, guys, if we're at that 306 area, I wouldn't be surprised if we retest that 295 to 300 area once more. And obviously, if we break that, I am bearish on Moderna. But as I see it right now, 343 is your best friend. That's what you got to look in for tomorrow. And 320 is your support line. And that's what you got to hold for tomorrow. Okay. And that is Moderna on the daily time frame and the 4 hour time frame. Now, another name that I want to look at is Nvidia. NVDA. Now, Nvidia was important to me because we did bounce to the semiconductor sector, doing such a great job last week, making big percentage moves. So, of course, Nvidia is going to take advantage of that. As you guys can see here, we did fall down below $200, and ever since then, we've been moving higher, right? We are here right now at that 220 area, just beneath it, and we are building some sort of bull flag right here, the flagpole, and the flag itself, right? We can consolidate here for quite a bit, then finally break through. It all depends on how the S&P 500 acts, how SMH semiconductor acts. So what I'm looking at is that break above 220. 220, my take profits are 222, 224, and 226, where we did consolidate here quite a bit, right? And guys, if we do see some strong volume, there's nothing stopping this from hitting that 230 area, which was all-time highs back on August the 30th. So keep an eye on Nvidia and the semiconductor sector to see if we do break that 220 area. Ideally, how I go upon trading stuff like this is my eyes are glued on the S&P 500 as my compass, and within the S&P 500 is the semiconductor sector, right? And that entails names like Nvidia, AMD. So those two big names are closely correlated to each other. So look for the semiconductor sector for strength, and then you can enter your trades above that 220 area. Now to the downside, I do have strong support here at that 212 area, which was the breakout last week. So if we do see some weakness, look for 212 to hold. Now, if that does not hold, obviously your first take profit target would be 209.50 and 206.50, where it was the launching point here back on October the 11th. All right. Neutral on Nvidia. Like to see the semiconductor follow through with percentage gains like how we did last week. As I mentioned before, we did have a rough few weeks, and that's what dropped Nvidia down below 200. Now that we're strong again, I want to see next week push past that 220 area to confirm that, hey, you know what? We are in a strong market. And that all starts with the S&P 500 breaking the very minimum of 4480. Okay, so that is Nvidia on the 4-hour time frame. Last name that I want to mention, and this mention was amazing. 23% move last week on this name, Mara, M-A-R-A. And this name, you know, it is riding on the strength of Bitcoin. And as you guys know, and you've been following closely, Bitcoin is above that 60K mark and it's shooting for all-time highs around that 64K mark. So as long as Bitcoin pushes up, you know, names like Mara, Riot, BTBT, Coin, all those are closely correlated to Bitcoin because Mara, as you guys know as well, is a miner for Bitcoin. So going into tomorrow, I am looking at that $50 area as my first entry point, and 52 as my take profit, 55 as my second take profit. And guys, we're at $58 here at all-time highs, so I wouldn't be surprised on a break of $50 and Bitcoin's strength for us to retest this $58 area. All right, my entry point last week was above this $41, and we broke through it like it was nothing, right? 23% on the week is not too shabby. So this is one of our swing trading names that we have at Wealthy Mentor Trading. So I informed the guys that $41 was an area point, and my take profits was 46.5 and $50. Both those got hit. Now next week I am looking for a continued move above that $50 area. And as I mentioned, if that breaks along with Bitcoin's strength, we can definitely see us test all-time highs at 58. All right, guys, those were 6 names that I'm definitely keeping my eyes on. And to give you guys a quick recap, Netflix reporting earnings on Tuesday, was trending sideways last week. Look for 647 to break. Entries above that. Tesla reports earnings on Wednesday. Great week last week, busting through that $800 resistance, and I am looking for 850 on the break of my entries. Snap reports earnings on Tuesday, has been consolidating into that bull flag, looking for that break above $83 to confirm that bull flag formation successful. Okay, Moderna, as I discussed, 343 is your key entry point, and 320 is your support area. Nvidia, as I mentioned as well, had a nice bounce back week above that $200 area. Look for the semiconductor sector to push in order for you to enter Nvidia above 220. All right, Mara, as you guys can see on this main screen, $50 is an area for me, but most importantly, keep your eyes peeled on Bitcoin, see what it's doing. If we break all-time highs, Mara, Riot, BTBT, Coin, they will all run. So keep those on your radar going into next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please give this video a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithms and gets my name out there. And if you are interested in trading with us, click that link in the description, join our group. And if you are still interested but unsure, hey, you know what? Head over to our IG page, Wealthy Mentor Trading, and see what we have to offer. Thanks so much, guys. Good luck trading. See you next week.